Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Katy and I am the owner of the brand Simply Katy. And with my business, well, small business, I like to specialise in travel related art prints and stationery. And on this channel, I like to share with you all of my sort of small business diaries, what I get up to in a week, and just share everything to do with the business on this YouTube channel, and also my process as an artist. If that sounds interesting to you, then please do like, comment, and subscribe on this video. It helps me out and just lets me know that you do enjoy this kind of content and gives me the enthusiasm to produce more. Definitely need a cup of coffee after that. Two craft fairs this weekend, I completely forgot, but I've got one in Liverpool it's called the Bombed Out Church on Saturday, and then I've got another one in Hanley, which is my local city centre, on Sunday. So I've got kind of a busy weekend really with craft fairs. I didn't plan on having double day craft fairs, but I've planned it now. I'm just gonna have to get on with it. But so I noticed on the stand some things maybe needed a few little improvements and tweaks just to make everything better. I think with this journey, I think it is definitely a learning process and learning what works well on a stall, what doesn't work well, and what we can change to make things better. I'll share with you my mini little haul. It's like a little mini small business haul. I'm so excited. So I'm going to share with you what I've purchased to take with me this weekend to hopefully make them better. So first of all, I was next to such a lovely girl who did these most amazing cakes. Like, they're so yummy, and she had a fitted tablecloth. So if you look at the photos of my craft stalls that I've done so far, the tablecloth is just like an ordinary tablecloth that you can buy from anywhere. But it's very creased, and basically, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I'm just being dead lazy and I don't want to iron it. And yeah, it kind of does look a little bit untidy and a little bit not as inviting as what it probably should, if I'm being completely honest. Now, the girl next to me had this fitted tablecloth, so I'll show you guys now. Let me just get it out of the packet. So it fits on the table perfectly, and what you do is you sort of put these little bits on the feet of the table, so it fits literally all the way down to the feet of the tables, which makes it so if you've got anything underneath the table, it hides all of that. And it's like a jersey fabric. I'd say jersey stretch fabric, which basically means that it's not going to really need to be ironed because it's going to be fully stretched, so it's always going to look really clean and tidy, which I really like the idea of. So I purchased that, and that was from Amazon, and I think it was like 20 quid. Obviously I'll leave the links to all of these things down below so you guys can check them out, but I definitely recommend these because I have noticed quite a few people use them on the craft fairs, and I personally think that they look a lot more tidier and they look a little bit more polished off instead of just having an ordinary tablecloth. And considering this is £20, it's kind of the same price as what a tablecloth would be anyway. So I got some of these. If I get a print, I'll be able to show you a bit better how it actually is going to stand on. Okay, so if we just use this as an example, obviously it's not in any packaging, but this is just a plastic I don't know, point of sale stand, I think it was called, and you can place prints like that. But this is really good if it's windy because it's quite stable. It's got a bottom, and it's also got this bit here, the ledge, so if things are blowing over, it's gonna struggle more to blow over, because I do find on these stalls sometimes your stuff is just flying everywhere and like literally blows everywhere, and it's kind of annoying because you don't want to have to be tidying up your stall every time there's a gush of wind. So that is fantastic. I think that was only like £4 or something. I'll have to double check, but yeah, it was really reasonable. So I picked up two of those, picked up a smaller version as well, and I think overall they just look quite nice on a stand. Like, they look really presentable. I also picked up this tiny little, hopefully you can see that, a tiny little one as well, which I think was literally only like £1 which is so reasonable. And this one is for your business cards, which I think is really good, because what I was doing before was I was just putting the business cards flat on the table, and I think sometimes people didn't realise they were business cards. So yeah, that's going to be a lot more obvious now on the stand, that people can pick those up and take a business card with them. Oh no! Oh, I just dropped it in my coffee. Oh no. I'm so clumsy. Third thing that I've purchased, which I don't know if I've got exactly the right thing, but there was some lovely gentlemen behind me at Trentham who obviously were very professional and knew what they were doing. And they were also selling art as well. And they, for their banner, so you know my banner that's like says my logo on and everything, they used, I think they're not called cable ties, it was like bungee ties. And basically these clip on either side, and I think you can make this shorter. I'm hoping you can make this shorter, because I don't know if I've bought like the right size or if this is a little bit too long, but it kind of keeps it more sturdy, because I've been using literally like the tiniest little bit of string, and I've been finding that kind of didn't really make the banner look particularly that straight. It made it look a little bit messy. So I'm hoping these will help to straighten up the banner and make it look tidier. And also I was thinking I might actually use these to make it so my wire stand is a lot more sturdy as well on the actual stand itself, because that kept on blowing over. But the guys gave me some fishing wire, so I might also buy some fishing wire as well to use. But I got these off Amazon, and I think they were like £16, so they were kind of pricey, so really hoping that they actually work. I guess we'll find out. Then I also found, basically if you don't know, I'm currently living with my parents. Me and Scott are moving into a house, Scott's my boyfriend, moving into a house at the end of this year, so everything is kind of just everywhere, and everything is hiding in lazy little places, because obviously that we don't have a lot of room for stuff, so I forget about a lot of things. But I did find these wire baskets that I bought last year, which was for the first ever craft store that I did, and I'm thinking I might try and use them. I think this one will work well, maybe for the smaller prints. I don't know if the wire might damage them though, that's why I'm kind of worried about using them. And then I've got this really big one, it's huge. This one works well for like gift wrap or wrapping paper, but I don't currently have any, so I don't think I'll end up taking this one, because I think it'd be a little bit of a waste of space in the car, and obviously you can't fit everything in there. But these two gold wire things were from, I think it's called Lara Doot. They're really lovely, and I really do like them, but I thought this one was going to be able to fit A3 prints in, but it doesn't really. So yeah, I think it's good for wrapping paper at like Christmas time, but other than that I'm not sure if I'll probably use that one. There's one more thing I wanted to sort of talk about. So I noticed when I was at Trentham this weekend that somebody actually ran off with one of my pins. Yeah, they just had one of my Bristol pins without paying for it, which I'm really gutted about, because obviously I thought that possibly these things wouldn't happen at these kinds of markets, but I guess that they do. So I think what I'm gonna have to do is, when I'm laying out my pins and stuff, I'm literally gonna have to put out one of each design, because I can keep more of a track then on where they're going. Because what I did was I put maybe too many up on the stand itself, and maybe that led to one unfortunately going missing, which I'm kind of gutted about, because I really didn't think that would happen. But lesson learned, I'm only going to put out one, so obviously I think I'll notice a lot sooner if it goes missing or not. It's Friday today, and I've got all of my jobs done that I wanted to do this morning, like my commission work and everything, and I'm really happy with how that's gone. And now I have just finished off doing my sketch for my Amsterdam print, well, one of my prints, part of the collection. So I just thought I'd talk you through my idea and what I'm thinking about creating. So with this art piece, I'm thinking about doing it based on the area 9 Streets, which is in Amsterdam. Now, I actually haven't been to 9 Streets. I've been to Amsterdam, but it was only a day trip, so I didn't particularly get a long time to actually look around and see what the vibe was fully of Amsterdam. But when I was doing my research actually this morning, a street called 9 Streets, and it's full of shops, cafes, florists, vintage stores, and I just thought, yeah, that is totally me. It's totally on brand, and yeah, it's something that I know I'm going to really enjoy creating either way. So that is the sort of idea that I've gone for. Now, I really loved the look of how my Adventure Awaits collection sort of transpired and became. I think that was really successful, and I actually was really proud of that collection because I felt like I moved my art style forwards a little bit, implemented some new things, and I think that's something I really want to focus on moving forwards with me creating new work and new collections, is pushing my artwork forwards instead of just sort of stagnating. And one thing that I do want to start, I think, introducing more is more animals, so cats and dogs, but also people as well into my illustrations. I don't think it's going to be necessary for every single illustration that I do. Sometimes I don't think you need that, but in other illustrations or collections I feel like it can be a lovely addition to a print. This one in mind, I think because it's based on a shopping district, I really wanted to get that essence of cosmopolitan life, sitting and having a coffee. Obviously Amsterdam is so famous for bicycles, so it completely makes sense for me to do some people sitting on bicycles, well, not sitting, riding some bicycles and stuff on this illustration. With some of the illustrations that I've already created for my Amsterdam collection, I'm going to implement some of those elements into those that I create in this one, into those to sort of help it all connect together and make sense as a collection. But yeah, I've been really reflecting and thinking, I felt a little bit stuck in my own ways, and I felt like I wasn't progressing my art style, and that's something that I really want to try and focus on doing with these next prints. And I really want to try and move things forward, and I think sometimes it's like hard to know if your audience is going to like it or not, but you know, you can't always just live your life designing or creating work because you know that it's a comfortable place for you to be. You've got to push yourself forward. So that is the plan. Good morning everybody. So I am ready this morning, bright and early, it's 7:30, ready to head to Liverpool. I'm really lucky because my parents are actually going to come with me today and help me set up, and then they're going to have a day out in Liverpool. And yeah, so hopefully it'll be a bit easier today, not doing it on my own. But without further ado, let's go. So I'm back. 2-day market weekend is now complete, and I can now say I am totally exhausted and really tired now, so I feel like I need a day off after that. I honestly don't know how some makers do double weekends. I think that's absolutely crazy. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm made for that. Maybe one every weekend is more than enough for me, so I can still have a day off to recover from it all. But I just thought I'd come on and do a little bit of a roundup on how both of the markets went this weekend. Started out on Saturday, which was the Makers Market in Liverpool, and that was one at the bombed out church, and the atmosphere was really nice. It was actually quite a nice day weather-wise, which I think definitely did help. The sun kept on trying to pop out. It was kind of windy in parts, but the sun did come out in the afternoon, which made it really nice. And this is the first time we've had like any music on, and there was like this DJ who was playing really nice like chilled summer kind of music, which I think did really help to give a little bit more of an atmosphere there. So I did manage to use the cable ties. I used it for the banner, which was so easy. It was so much easier than using string, so definitely recommend getting them if you are looking for something to keep up your banner. Cable bungee ties actually really helped with the wire stand that I've got as well, just to keep that standing upright in case the wind kind of tried to blow it all over. It kind of kept it more in place. What did really interest me is I took 2 Liverpool prints with me to the stall, and I did one actually this past week of Bold Street, which is my personal favourite street in Liverpool. Loads of people actually picked up on that print, and I only took 2 copies of that print because I was a little bit unsure if people would recognise where it was of, but people instantly recognised, which I was so surprised about, and I sold them within like the first couple of hours of them being there, so kind of regret not taking more with me, but that was definitely a plus because I've had no online sales for that print. Another thing that I did, and I know this sounds a little bit crazy, but I actually was writing down what I sold, because the past couple of times I've done craft fairs, I've not actually wrote down what prints that I've sold, so I didn't know what prints were actually gauging like the most interest and stuff, and also I wasn't keeping track of like what stock I had. Kind of weird because like some prints that do really well online, just people don't seem interested in person, and then vice versa, so it's good to keep a record, and I would definitely recommend doing that if you don't already do that. So now I think it's time for us to do a little breakdown of the costs and the profit and stuff. Okay, so for the Liverpool Craft Fair, it cost me £50 for my stall, and then it cost £8 for parking, and then petrol came to £48 and I believe 50p. Total sales for the day was £520, which means that's the best profit I've had so far. I think having a really good planned out stall that looks really inviting has helped me so much get more people stop and look, and also having like a cohesive brand and just looking like a brand and looking welcoming is really helpful. And one thing I've definitely learned is just don't be shy, like make sure you say hello to people, encourage them to look through your prints, encourage them to look through the store, because I think some people feel a little bit awkward and a little bit unsure whether they're allowed to come and look through your things, and I just think it's easier if you just try and be as confident as possible. Let's go on to Sunday, which was in my local city centre, which is Hanley, and this market, just for reference, has only been going for 2 months, so I think the general public don't particularly know about this craft stall, so I think that is probably part of the problem. But it was I'll be honest, like it was a little bit disheartening to go from having my best craft stall to literally one of the worst craft stalls in terms of profit and engaging with customers and footfall. Yeah, it was kind of disheartening yesterday, and I was kind of gutted when I got home, but I think you've just got to realise that not every craft stall is going to be a winner, and there are going to be ones that are better than others, and that's totally normal. And you can't have a rising increase in profits every single time. You know, you're always going to have dips and lows, and that's just business anyway. Completely forgot to mention as well the tablecloth, the stretch one. That is so good. Like, I highly recommend anyone who does craft fairs to get yourself one of those stretchy tablecloths, because it was so easy to put on. It looks clean, it looks tidy, it's not creased, and yeah, I think it just looks so much more presentable. So I'm just going to run through the costs and then the profit that I made. So the cost for the stall was £15, so a lot cheaper than the Makers Market craft stall, and the parking I believe was £1.50 all day, so a lot cheaper as well. And then I'm not actually going to claim any petrol just because it's so close to where I live. It kind of seems a little bit silly. It would only be a couple of quid. For the sakes, I'll just put £3 petrol. So overall, the profits that I made was actually £83 in the end. So I've still come home with a profit overall, but as you can tell from Saturday to Sunday, there's a massive difference in numbers, and I think in overall footfall and people knowing about the market as well was very I could tell the difference, because on Saturday I felt really busy, I was socialising, I was talking to loads of people, I was being really engaging, and that was so enjoyable, like just being able to engage with people and engage with the public and talk about my art with people. On Sunday there wasn't really even any of that. There was not really much talking, there wasn't many people socialising. They did have some music playing, which was good, and it did give a bit more of an atmosphere, but in general, very different vibes. And I don't think I will be doing my local one for a very long time, just because I think I'd prefer to just have that day off, if I'm being honest, and concentrate on doing the markets that are currently working well for me. But I'm never going to say never, but I definitely want to do more makers markets and do more of them in different locations, just to test them out and see sort of what the vibe is for different areas around where I live. Okay, so that is going to end this week's vlog. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you next week for another one. I hope you have a great week. Bye!